I'm OK Savage. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Last week, I wanted to do some creative journaling, and it actually took me quite a while to find a prompt that I liked online. So between last week and this week, I have spent quite a while Googling creative journaling prompts, art journal prompts, art therapy prompts, and I've come up with quite a list. I have 50 items listed. They're all like prompts or exercises to do. So what I'm going to do for finding one this week is I'm going to go to that list, I'm going to get up a random number generator and just go with whatever gets generated. Yeah. Random number generator, go! Okay, so I got 11, and prompt number 11 is illustrate a moment when you felt mentally recharged. This is going to be difficult, actually, because I'm really, really low energy today. And, I've had quite a busy day on very little energy, and so I'm feeling really blah. So it's going to be interesting trying to come up with a moment when I felt energized. But let's get the paper out, give it a go. If I get my sketchbook out, I've got a pencil in my mouth, that's why I sound funny, sorry. So let's have a go. Illustrate a moment when you felt mentally recharged. That's difficult. When you're having a really low energy day, it's hard to visualize a moment of feeling mentally recharged. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm going to write the title while I think. Illustrate a moment when you felt mentally recharged. There we go. Right. So, illustrate a moment when you felt mentally recharged. When was the last time I felt mentally recharged? I guess that's the question. Have I felt mentally recharged at all this week? I've been so tired. I feel like I've got a moment on the tip of my brain and it's just not coming to me for some reason. I guess there was a moment, I'm not sure exactly what day it was on. Might have been Monday? There was a moment when I'd got everything on my to-do list done sort of before the evening. And no, it definitely wasn't Monday. It must have been last week at some point. Usually my partner puts our kid to bed. He reads a bedtime story and puts her to bed, so I normally do a bit of work while he's doing that. And I did, and I managed to get everything done. And so by the time he was finished putting her to bed, I was kind of done with obligations. There was nothing else I needed to do that day. And so we just kind of sat together and played Silk Song for a while, and I did feel really mentally recharged then, actually. I felt great. I guess if I was going to illustrate that moment, I suppose the physicality of it was that we were both sat together. So I'll do... He's really tall, that's why his head is higher than mine. Also, I like to slouch when I sit on the couch. Slouch on the couch, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. I sort of sit sideways. There's so many memes about bisexuals don't know how to use a chair, and it's I hate how accurate it is. It is accurate. We don't. It's awful. Excuse me for being comfortable. Where's my other leg? What's going on with that? I don't think you'd be able to see my other leg. I don't know. No anatomy right now. That's me. I don't know what that is. A weird armpit. I've got weird arms in this. I'm kind of not concentrating on making it a super amazing drawing, because it's illustrate it. I kind of want to capture the vibe, which was very cozy and wholesome, and I feel like that's what I want to capture. So I'm going for a kind of cartoony style. What does a games remote look like? I use these things all the time. I don't know what they look like. That's him holding the games remote. There we go. That's kind of what they look like, right? Got some big buttons on the back. His forearms are like extremely foreshortened. It's fine. I don't think this is an exercise in like drawing amazingly well. Comfy sock feet, no shoes, only comfy in the house. I have become one of those households where it's like I always take my shoes off in the house now. And growing up, I did not have that sort of household. Like I barely ever saw my dad not wearing huge boots, but somehow I've ended up with the kind of like we come in and we always take our shoes off sort of thing. I really like it actually. I don't know, there's something more comfortable about not wearing shoes in the house. Apart from, the obvious like not tracking mud everywhere and stuff. But I mean, I've got a dog, so there's only so much you can do for that. I've got a dog and a child, so as far as not tracking dirt into the house, like that's a lost cause. But there is just like a mental aspect to the whole like taking shoes off when you come into the house, where it probably feels like, once you're in the house, it's like, okay, this is a different mode to whatever mode you were in outside. I like that as a vibe. That's so unrelated to this prompt. I'm so sorry. I'm just drawing a sofa now. I think that's kind of what our sofa looks like. So, I'm not going to give us like huge, over-exaggerated happy expressions because I think we were more vibing, and I think that's why I felt really mentally recharged because I didn't have to be much of anything. I didn't have to be really happy or really on it or concentrating. It was just peaceful. And I think that's what made me feel recharged. Absolute mop of hair there. I don't know how to draw my own hair. That's a weird one. Give my partner his big glasses. He's got a really pointy nose as well. Give him his hair as well. I've made this fringe go the wrong way, but it's close enough. I feel like it almost like I should be doing more for this, but genuinely, there wasn't much more to the moment. I think that basically sums it up. Like, we were just sitting playing video games, and I did feel really recharged and happy, and well, not like happy like, oh yeah, just happy like, oh yeah, I'm chilling, merely vibing. It's quite nice actually to take the time to try and recognize what those moments are like, because I guess I don't spend loads of time thinking about what makes me feel like that. Okay, so today's prompt was illustrate a moment when you felt mentally recharged. And this is what I've got. There's me and my partner who I live with sat on the couch, and it's this couch, and we're playing video games, and he's asking Skong, and I'm like, Skong, because that's what we call Silk Song in this house. And yeah, we've still not finished Silk Song. There's two of us trying to beat these bosses, and we've still not finished it. We're nearly there. We're on Lost Lace. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm really happy with how the illustration has come out. That was really fun to do. But obviously with this, it's less about the end result and more about the process. Process-wise, I'd say this was a fun little prompt. It was short and sweet. I think it was nice to actively think about what makes me feel mentally recharged, because I don't think that that's necessarily something I actively think about a lot. Like, it took me a long time to think of what brings that feeling about with me, which more than anything has made me realise that maybe that's something that I need to spend more time thinking about. Maybe sort of make a list at some point of things that make me feel mentally recharged, or like a mind map or something. And yeah, I think it's really brought that to light, that I like that feeling and I don't actively seek it out, and I could be doing. So yeah, I have definitely learned something from doing this prompt, which is really nice. And I think the circumstances around it say a lot as well, because at that time when I was doing that, I could have really included something about this in the illustration and I didn't, but the circumstances around that were that I'd finished everything on my to-do list, so I was sitting and playing video games with kind of, the knowledge that, hey, I've done everything I need to do today. And I think that's really what brought a large sense of peace and feeling mentally recharged to me. So I think that's definitely something to bear in mind as well. I'd say that's definitely a lesson learned there. Out of 10, I would rate this journaling prompt as probably, I feel like I'm going to say 7 for all of them. This is awful. I don't know. For me, I would say 7 because I think it's something that I personally am dreadful at in hindsight, is thinking about what makes me feel mentally recharged. And so I think I really needed that actually to point that out to myself. But I don't know, obviously, if that's generally applicable to everyone or if other people would find it slightly easier and less challenging. So I'm going to err on the side of giving it maybe a 6, just because it is quite short and sweet, and I don't think we really got very deep with it. And because it's illustrate a moment, most of the time and effort was spent doing the illustration as opposed to thinking of other scenarios that might make me feel mentally recharged. Like, in terms of uncovering things that make me feel mentally recharged, it's one thing. So the main thing it's done is show me that I have a problem, but it's not necessarily the work that I need to do to find the solutions to that problem, because it's shown me that I don't think about that very much. But I think something like illustrate different things that make you feel mentally recharged or whatever would be a lot more useful. So I'm going to give it a 6. It's still like, it's over halfway. It's good. It was fun. But yeah, probably 6 out of 10. Anyway, that's it. Short and sweet one today. If you found this video on YouTube, you should know that people over on Patreon watched a secret version of it a week ago, which is very exciting, and you can do that too if you check the link in the description. Big thanks to everyone who does support me on Patreon. You make my life a lot easier and let me make cool stuff. Yeah, that's about it. Remember to like and subscribe and bells and buttons and YouTube crap, and yeah, have a good one.